morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today is June 7th, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm just not feeling it today. I didn't blog at all yesterday. I had every intention of it when I went to bed Sunday night, but yesterday morning started with a huge argument between myself and my teenage son, and he said some very, very hurtful things to me. And I came to work with that on my mind. Also on my mind are my in-laws. I love my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. When I married Bill, they welcomed me into the family like I was, their own blood. And so my father-in-law right now is not doing well, and okay, I have to go off on a rant. Something is wrong with the American medical system. Even with Obamacare, I'm sorry, it's still messed up. My father-in-law was in the Korean War. He's a veteran. He's worked hard his whole life. He's always played by the rules. He's a good guy. But then he came down sick, and he ended up in the hospital, and then he went to a physical therapy rehabilitation center, and he was there for like 6 weeks, and they're like, oh, your insurance is out, gotta go. And they were able to put in for an appeal and get like a 2-week extension, but then something happened, and we still can't get a straight answer of what happened. So then he was transferred to another place, which is actually like a psychiatric facility with no physical therapy. And now he's been there for a week, so any of the rehabilitation that he got from the PT place, it's all fading away now because he's just laying in a bed. So he's lost what little bit he gained, and the PT place is like, oh, no, we can't take him back, sorry. And and then so we're like, well, okay, well, where is he going to go now? Like, well, we don't know because nobody takes your health insurance except for that place. And so, oh my God, it is so frustrating. This country does senior citizens wrong. They do them wrong, and it's infuriating. So between my in-laws on my mind and my son on my mind, and then yesterday was the spring concert, and my class and the other fourth grade class were on stage, and they were supposed to just sing 2 songs and get off the stage. That's all they had to do. Well, I literally had students on that stage yesterday kicking, hitting, trying to knock people off the stage. 3 kids, not 2 were mine, 1 was another teacher's, were literally ejected from the stage in the middle of the song. I'm just like, oh my God, I know I have a special needs room, people, but this is crazy. Come on, you guys, you can't hold it together for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And mind you, this is taking place in front of the principal, in front of all my coworkers, and in front of the superintendent of schools. The superintendent of schools got to watch me go and retrieve children, got to see the principal come and demand kids get off the stage. Oh yeah, fun times. So, I can't lie, if I had sick days left, I don't even know if I would have come here today. But I'm out of sick days. There's only 8 more days of school. I'm here, but I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. So I still have like 50 minutes before the kids arrive, and I'm going to try to get to work in here, and hopefully my mood and my spirits will improve before the kids get here. But yeah, it's been the last few weeks between home stuff, school stuff, it's been challenging. And it's funny because I know I did the Q&A, the questions and answers, and I will do that video. I will. I probably won't get to it until summer vacation because that's something that's much easier for me to do once my classroom is shut down. But one of the questions that came up from several people was, how do you do that homework balance? And you know what? I'm not sure I have homework balance because there's 3 big things that go on in my life. My job, And let's be honest, when I'm at my job, I'm basically a mom to 30 kids. And I have a room to keep clean. Then there's my home, where I'm a mom of 2 kids and a husband and a furry little kitty, and I have a home to keep clean. And then there's the YouTube, which I love, I really do, but it is kind of like a job too. It's just a job that doesn't pay very well. But so I've got 3 big things constantly going on, and I find that I can only be really good at any given time at 2 of them. If I'm on top of work and I'm on top of YouTube, my house is falling apart. If I'm on top of the house, on top of the job, I haven't posted a video in 2 weeks. If I'm on top of my house and YouTube is going strong, then I'm behind on paper grading and I'm behind on lesson planning. So it's like, there is this really great scene from this movie, One Fine Day, with Michelle Pfeiffer, where she's talking to George Clooney and she's like, my life is just a bunch of balls and I'm constantly juggling all these balls and you can't let any of them drop. Well, unfortunately for me, I'm juggling 3 balls and one of them's hitting the ground at all times. It's just which one is hitting the ground at all times. But, so, yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of in a bad mood. But I'm keeping it real. This is real. Not every day is a winner. Some days just kind of stink. And today's one of them. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap up my rant now, and hopefully I'll be in a better mood when I check in with you guys later. My class is currently in library, and yes, I'm in a little better of a mood. I'm sorry about earlier. I'm not even sure if I'm actually going to post my little rant on this video. It might make it, I don't know. But in the meantime, as you guys know, I'm in the process of trying to pack up the room. If you still have a couple of weeks of school left, now is actually a great time to try out a new room arrangement. Sometimes when you come in the very beginning in September, you're on a limited time frame. It's like, quick, get the room together because the kids are going to be here, in a day or 2. So, but now school's winding down, and I decided to rearrange the room big time. So I'm going to kind of take you through some of the differences I've done in the room, and also, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm giving up my teacher's desk, which I may regret it. I don't know. It's actually been something I've been thinking about doing for a couple of years, but whenever I was ready to bite the bullet and get rid of my desk, I was like, no, mine, my precious. But so I've already sent an email out building-wide to all the teachers saying first come, first serve, perfectly good desk, 5 drawers, key that locks the drawers, it's in great condition, first come, first serve. So now that I've sent the email out, I'm committed. My desk is going to go bye-bye. But so what I've done, one of the first things I did was move my horseshoe table, which is going to become my new desk, from back here, it was between the bathroom and the door, to over to the side of the room. And as you can see, I still have my teacher's desk for the moment up there. So, but if you look at this area, my desk, it's a very large desk. It's a wonderful desk, and I still might be making the biggest mistake of my life, but I'm about to let it go so that I can reclaim all this floor space. I have to keep my computer there because that's where the ports are. So the computer can't go anywhere else, and I will keep that one bookcase, although I've already moved it too. It was initially right here next to the computer. I've now put it over there, and then once all of this is out, I will slide the computer over to reclaim all this floor space. And my, my little hoard of stuff I used to keep here, it's basically been cleaned out. And by doing this, I will create a space big enough for, honestly, 4 desks or a table. Because by putting that table over there, the desks that used to be here are now all the way back there. And for the room-wise, it's no big deal. But for the children who are now sitting here, they're pretty far from the board. So they're going to have a difficult time seeing. You know, it's only like 7 more days of school this year, so it's not a big deal now, but this would not work for an entire school year next year. So by getting rid of my desk, those desks right here will go over there. Everyone will have perfect access to the board. And I had several reasons for doing this. I love my horseshoe table. I really do. One, it's a very comfortable place to be with the table surrounding you. It's a great place to really spread out and get your work done. And I love teaching from my horseshoe table as well. It works really well for daily 5. It works really great for small group work. I love the table. But because it was initially back here, it was a little too far removed from the classroom as a whole. So what would happen is the children up by the front of the room would immediately start to misbehave because they were out of my immediate line of sight, and they knew that they could kind of duck down and begin to talk and play around. By moving that table as being part of the room now, I'm in a closer proximity. And as all teachers know, proximity is everything. It really is. You know, sometimes when you're like teaching, all you have to do is just walk over to a child, stand by them, and that fast, that behavior will get back in shape. So that was the reason for moving the table. Also, I had another problem area in this room, and it was this right here. This is our coat rack, and I've got several hooks that have fallen off and need to be replaced. I've already got a work order for that. But this kind of ends up being a dumping ground, the whole length of it. Just coats, book bags, lunch bags, everything gets tossed on the floor. And then you'd have to look at it all day long. Well, now I've put my bookcases here, and by putting my bookcases here, it did one of two things. It separated the coats from the rest of the room. One, it'll hide the mess. Two, it created a walkway now where this is the way you go in and you go out. So they now can, it's almost like a coat room. And I really love the effect. And a couple of teachers who came in yesterday said, wow, that's a really genius thing to do. So apparently I'm on the right track because other people thought it was a pretty good idea too. So that's what I did there. And then all the things that were in my desk have now been transferred to these 2 bookshelves, which will be behind me while I'm teaching or doing my small group. So I have everything I need within quick access. And then the things that were confidential and private are now in this drawer here, which has a lock on it. So this way I can lock up private files, you know, things that are like my IEPs, my students. So because you still have to have a place to keep your confidential stuff private. And so those were the big changes I've kind of made around the room. And there's still this little voice in my head that says, you're gonna be sorry. But I know once my desk is out of the room, it's gonna make a big difference. It's gonna open up the floor space. It's going to be a good thing. It's just going to be a huge adjustment because for 20 plus years, I've always had a desk. So it's going to be different. And then I'm also really hoping that next year I won't even have all these desks. I'm even trying to replace my student desks. I started projects on donorschoose.org because, you know, as you know, I teach in probably the poorest district in all of the state of Michigan. Hamtramck receives the least amount of dollars per child versus any other place in the state. So we've always been the least. And by the time the district uses the monetary funds to keep these buildings going, which are like, our one elementary school is 120 years old. Seriously. This major building over here is 100 years old. These portables were bought used in the 1980s when we had an influx of Bosnian children, not the 80s, but 90s. We had an influx of Bosnian children during their civil war. So everything around here is old, and it costs so much money to just keep the structures structurally intact that at the end of the day, when you want something like desks, tables, furniture, bookshelves, you want it, it's not happening. So after 10 years of asking for new desks, I'm trying DonorsChoose.org to try and actually raise the money myself to just buy my own furniture. Because these desks, half of them, the tops come off, I mean like off. And then the other half have this right here. I mean, this is one where the desktop has come off, it won't fit anymore, and it's metal. It's like, I've actually ripped 2 pairs of pants on this desk this year alone, and it's sharp. So my students, it is totally normal for like once or twice a week in here for a kid to have their hands smashed, their fingers sliced open. So I'm really hoping that the DonorsChoose.org can help me get tables and chairs. So, but that's what's going on right now, and I will show you what goes on for the rest of the day. I'll talk to you soon. Hello again. So you are looking at a very tired and exhausted teacher. I have been working my butt off in the room. It was good work. It was really, really good work, and I burned some calories, let me tell you. But even since this morning, I've made some changes. I've often joked that if I hadn't have gone into teaching, I would have gone into the furniture moving business because I seem to do it all the time. But so over here, where I had that table, I have since moved it to the corner where I had my desk. In just the short amount of time that I was sitting over there yesterday and then even this morning, I would be here and realized I needed something that was over there. I would be over there and I realized I needed something that was over here, and I was like, okay, this is gonna drive me crazy. I need one station that is mine. Just one station that's my station. I don't want to be split into 2 places. So the table went over there. I am very happy with how it turned out. It's still a little messy because it was a ton of work. And then I moved the bookcase that was over by the table over here. And like I said, it's still a little messy. I'm gonna get all that tidied up. It's just, oh my God, it ended up being such an enormous job. And then here, since I no longer have a desk, I used to do this when I was a Title I teacher. I have these 3 drawer tubs that are now serving as my desk. So everything that used to be in the desk is now in there. I'm just gonna have to buy some more of these because the one really big one I had that was so nice from Staples doesn't fit in the smaller drawers. So between the bookshelves and those drawers, I have everything I need at my disposal. Plus I have my computer right here for doing attendance and things. So that's all perfect. And then what I'm gonna do now, this chair and easel have been over here with the bookcases behind them for years. Now the bookcases are over there, and at the moment my desk is here too. The 2nd grade teacher was overjoyed. She's like, I'll take your desk, I'll take your desk. So the custodian's gonna get that out of here later today, and then that chair and easel are now going to go right here, and then I'm gonna end up having a huge carpet space here for my students to do, you know, story time, our 10-minute daily 5 lessons, for presenting math workshop. So yeah, I'm loving it. It was a ton of work. I burned a lot of calories, but I'm very happy with the way it turned out. And like I said earlier, this is the time of year to start playing around. I have 7 days of school left after today. So, you know, I now have 7 days to use this arrangement and see if this is something that I would definitely want to keep for next year. I love it today. By Monday of next week, I might be saying to myself, oh God, why did I do this? It's not working. So hopefully I won't, because my desk is gone. I've gotten rid of it. And, but yeah, so It's all good so far. The day is over. Thank God. You know I started this day off in a bad mood, but then I really did get into a good mood. I was making changes in the room. The kids and us, we had some fun today, and I actually got into be a really happy teacher today. Things were going really well. The kids got extended computer time because the room was such a disaster that I needed time to put it back together. So they were on Raz Kids for about 40 minutes. Then they went to Lexia for about 40 minutes. Then I even let them go play on the everyday math websites for 40 minutes. So they had like 2 hours of computer time. And they're like, Miss Beitler, you're the best teacher in the whole world. We love you. And it was all sunshine and rainbows. And then the afternoon came, and I'll be honest, I still had so much work to do in the room. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh yes, I taught all day. No, I did my Daily 5 lesson, and then they did Read to Self, and I didn't listen to kids read today. I got back to work putting the room together. Then I did my Language Arts quick lesson, and then they read with a partner for about 40 minutes, because that's one of the things they love to do. Then I taught a 10-minute writer's workshop lesson, and they got to writing, and that's when all you-know-what broke loose in the room. One of my special needs darlings decided to begin screaming and shouting at another boy because they did a trade. The special needs child gave a pencil in exchange for a pencil sharpener. This apparently happened yesterday, unbeknownst to me. All I know is 1 minute I'm stacking books, and the next minute my child is screaming at the top of his lungs, just screaming. And it's like, oh my God, what happened? What's wrong? Why are you screaming? And so I'm trying to intervene, and basically he wanted to keep the sharpener and have the pencil back. And I'm like, you can't do that. You need to make a decision right now. Do you want the sharpener or the pencil? You can't keep both. And it turned out, well, he took the sharpener home yesterday. And so I said, well, the pencil's not yours anymore. At which point he took the pencil, a brand new one that I had given him earlier today, and snapped it in half. And I said, I know you're upset. I know you're angry. You didn't need to do that. But what's done is done. It's done. At which point, another child in the room told this child to just chill out. Well, that was apparently the straw that broke the camel's back. The next thing I know, this child is trying to run out of the classroom. And I intervene, and I kind of redirect him back to a seat, at which point he tries to run out the other door. And another child blocks his path, and this kid decides to shove that kid down. I grab him and redirect him back to a seat. I'm like, you need to calm down now. And at that point, he decided to flip his desk. So that was it. It's like, you are out. And he's not leaving the room, so I grab him by the arm, at which point he stomped my foot twice, and I have a lovely welt on my foot. At least, praise God, it was not the foot that had surgery. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. He stomped the good foot. And in the process of dragging him to the office, he managed to draw blood and give me a lovely scratch on my hand. So that was how my day ended. So it started kind of crappy, had a really good middle, and then finished kind of crappy. So yeah, some days are just like that. Today I feel like Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And I'm really hoping and praying that tomorrow will be much, much better. Because as I said this morning, today just kind of stunk. Some days are just like that. So real quick, now that you've listened to my oh woe is me moment, I did do some more work around the room, and not much, but as you can see, the bookshelves are still there. I got my rocking chair and my easel here in front, and we had our Daily 5 group this time, And oh my gosh, it was so awesome. This was the first time ever we really had all the seating space we could possibly need to get on the carpet. And then over here, I used to have that bookshelf with the blue thing on top. Well, I now moved that over here because since I took the easel and chair out, the table that was here slid over to there, and this actually eliminated one of my problem spots because the whole time that that bookcase and the blue thing was here, kids would hide behind it to try to, hide from me and, where they could get into mischief. So that blind spot is now gone, and the room just looks so big. I mean, it just looks so spacious and huge in here. So just playing with your furniture can really have big impacts. But it was such a change. So getting rid of the desk allowed me to move the table. Moving the table allowed me to relocate the bookshelves. Relocating the bookshelves allowed me to relocate another bookshelf with the mailboxes. Relocating that allowed me to relocate our science table. And it made for an enormous feeling room. I love it. So with that, I'm going to try to end on a high note, and I'm going to say I hope you enjoyed this video today, even though I spent much of this video moaning and groaning. But let's be real, it's teaching. I love teaching, but not every day is sunshine and rainbows. Some days are dark clouds and storms. Today was one of those. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumb up. If you have any comments to share with me, I would love to hear them in the bottom. If you want to see more from me in the future, click the subscribe button, and I will talk to you later.